Greetings everyone and welcome to question number 25 of US Examination Mathematics 2 section. In this question we have fx, which is equal to the expressions that we have 3x minus 2 if x is less than 1, 4x plus 1 if the values of x are between 1 and 4, and we have 3x minus 2 if the value of x is greater than 4. And we are asked the limit of f of x if as x approaches positive 1 plus limit of f of x as x approaches negative 4. Now let's first see what does these terms mean. What do these terms mean? So we have as x approaches 1. What does that mean? It means that we have to look at the expression when we are given the condition that x should be greater than 1 in this case. So the only expression that tells us that x should be greater than 1 is the second expression. So it means that the limit of f of x as x approaches positive 1, it is equal to 4x plus 1. And the value of x should be taken as 1. So we have 4 times 1 plus 1, which is equal to 5. Now let's see the limit of f of x as x approaches negative 4. What does that mean? That the value of x should be 4 or less. And the only expression that gives us the value of x lower than 4 is the second expression again. So we have the limit of f of x as x approaches negative 4 is equal to 4x plus 1, and the value of x will be taken as 4. So we have 4 times 4 plus 1, which is equal to 17. And since we are asked the addition of these two, all we have to do is just add these two results. So the final answer is equal to 22. Welcome to question number 26. In this question we have limit of 2 times sine of x minus 1 over square root of 3 minus 2 times cosine of x as x approaches p over 3. Now, how do we deal with this question? The only thing that we have to do is substitute p over 3 for x. So let's do that. We have 2 times sine of p over 3 minus 1 over square root of 3 minus 2 times cosine. We have cosine of p over 3. Now, there are two values that you must know. What is the sine of p over 3? We know that sine of p over 3 is equal to 3 over 2. And what is cosine of p over 3? It is 1 over 2. So these are the values that you must know. As you know these values, the rest will become very easy. So we have 2 times square root of 3 over 2 minus 1, and we have square root of 3, I'm going to write it here, so minus 2 times 1 over 2. So 2's cancel each other, 2's cancel each other over here, and we have square root of 3 minus 1 over square root of 3 minus 1, which all equals to 1. As you can see, a very simple and easy process to follow. This was question number 26, and I will see you on the next one. Welcome to question number 27. In this question we have limit of x squared plus x all to the power of 3 times x to the power of 3 plus x minus 1 over 1 minus x to the power of 2 all to the power of 3 times 3x plus 2 as x approaches minus 1. Now, the first, the basic mistakes that students make in these kinds of questions is for them to substitute minus 1 with x. Let's do that and see what we're gonna get. So instead of x, I will replace the value of x with minus 1. So 1 minus 1 to the power of 2 will always give us a positive number. So 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. 0 to the power of 3 is equal to 0. 0 times whatever is left is gonna be 0. So over here we have an undefined number, because we know that if we have a fraction 2, for example, 2 over 0, it will always be undefined. So that's not the right answer. But what can we do here? Looking at the expressions, we have to see what is another way of writing these expressions that will enable us to cancel something or to simplify them, to simplify this fraction, so that we will come to a stage where after I apply the value of x as minus 1, it will bring us to a fraction which it doesn't have a denominator of 0, and which would lead us as a result in an undefined solution. So what do we have to do? Let's see how can we write these expressions in another way. So over here, what do? I take x as a common factor. So I have x times x plus 1 all to the power of 3 times x to the power of 3 plus x minus 1. And here we have 1 minus x to the power of 2. So what does that mean? It means that another way of writing is just consider 1 to the power of 2. It will give us 1. So we have 1 minus x to the power of 3 times 1 plus x to the power of 3. Because you have to consider that even 1 to the power of 2, it's 1. So therefore, another way of writing this expression is as 1 minus x times 1 plus x. Since both numbers here have the power of 3, so we have to make sure that we include the power of 3 for both parentheses. And now we have to multiply this by 3x plus 2. Now, what do we have here? We have x to the power of 3 times x plus 1 to the power of 3 times x to the power of 3 plus x minus 1. And over here we have 1 minus x to the power of 3 times 1 plus x to the power of 3 times 3x plus 2. Since we have only multiplication, we can now simplify. So x plus 1 to the power of 3 simplifies 1 plus x to the power of 3. So they cancel out. So what is left? We have x to the power of 3 times x to the power of 3 plus x minus 1. And we have 1 minus x to the power of 3 times 3x plus 2. Now, as we simplified, we can now apply the value of x, the value of minus 1, because after this we will not get an undefined solution. So instead of x, I will write minus 1. So we have minus 1 to the power of 3 times minus 1 to the power of 3. So we can write minus 1 with parentheses or without parentheses, because it will give us the same value. Because we know if a negative number if once negative number the exponent is odd, it will never change its sign. So we have plus minus 1 over 1 minus 1 to the power of 3 times 3 times minus 1 plus 2. Now what do we have here? We have minus 1 times minus 1 is minus 2, minus 1 is minus 3, so we have minus 1 times minus 3, and here we have 1 minus 1, it's a positive 1, so 1 plus 1 is 2, so we have 2 to the power of 3 times 3 times minus 1 is minus 3 plus 2, it's minus 1. So here we have 3 over minus 8. And this is the final answer for this question.